Am I audible to all of you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the orientation session for the online degree programs by IIT Madras. I am Lida and I am a course instructor with the English courses. It would be nice if rest of you can mute your audio for a while. You can ask your questions after I am done with my presentation, right? So make sure that you have your audios muted. Otherwise, who's this? Please keep your audio mute. Okay, all right. So I'm going to be briefing you a little bit about the English 1 and English 2 courses. So we've taken up the first slot because we also have the students from electronic systems, and these courses are going to be common for both the data science as well as the electronic systems. Okay. So in the English 1 and 2 courses, our focus is definitely on enhancing the communication skills. And this happens mostly through the lectures that you would watch, as well as the supplemental activities that you get alongside. Sometimes graded, sometimes non-graded. That would be specified to you, as in when and where it is graded, it would be told to you. As such, we do not have any activity-based questions or project questions for the exams, but you may find them as part of the practice assignments for your weekly lectures, right? And with respect to the skills, we focus on all the 4 skills in language learning, like the listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And they're all distributed evenly across the 12 modules that you would see in the English 1 and English 2 courses, right? So you will have enough space and enough lectures on what is considered sufficient at a degree level, foundation level program like this. But all the 4 skills would be definitely covered. We mostly approach it in a functional mode, in the sense the concepts discussed are mostly from the point of view that it must be useful to you at your higher education levels, right? So there are definitely then lectures on, when we talk about lectures in writing, we also talk about, say, email communications or report writing, so on and so forth, right? The grading pattern is pretty straightforward. All the logistics and grading is straightforward. You'll have 2 quizzes and 1 NSEM exam, right? No, as I told you already, no scope for projects or anything else beyond that as a part of your grading system, right? So 2 quizzes and end semester exam. That's what you're going to take for both the English 1 and English 2 courses. What I would like to spend some time talking to you about are the additional programs that we have as a part of both English 1 and 2 programs, right? Courses. And in terms of interacting with us, you definitely have a weekly live session. The time and the day for the same would be communicated to you as you enroll and register. But as a piece of information, you should know that we interact with all of you regularly. And we have various programs for that. The one that mainly happens is a live session, which is conducted in the presence of the faculty. So you can come over to that session, ask your doubts. It's largely designed to clear your doubts from the lectures, but you can also utilize this to interact with the prof if you have anything to do with the course content, if there's anything that is unclear or you would like to review and change it. All of these discussions can also happen during these live sessions. So that is one part. That is definitely one segment where you can interact with us. In addition to that, people who cannot come online, come in person and talk to us, you can communicate your content-related problems or any other course-related logistic issues to us through the discussion forums, right? We have TAs who engage with the participants as and when the need arises. And if it is something that is related to the other aspects of the course, then of course you have the support team to write, right? like if it is something related to, inaccessible calendars, or say session not showing up, or playlist not visible, materials not available. If it's an isolated case, of course, you will have to write to the support. If not, then you communicate to us as well. Okay. Then, in addition to the discussion forum and the live session that happens weekly, our discussion forum is, of course, a continuous thing. In addition to the live session, the other programs where you can meet with us include sessions like Learn the Rope. Okay. Now, Learn the Rope is a practice session. Usually, it covers the major topics of your 12 modules, both in English 1 and English 2. Right. So we meet weekly once, and I handle this session. Right. So it is designed to inculcate all worksheets related to this topic that we cover. So, for example, if we are looking at a topic like phrasal verbs or phrases and idioms, then we design a worksheet based on that, and we do a few questions. We practice it so that it is useful for us. There's no PPT. I see the PPT is not visible. We do not have anything to show you as a PPT, but just this is sort of designed to be an interaction. So you can just listen, no issues. I mean, I'm just briefing through what we have. You will anyway get to know of it more as you join the sessions, right? So don't worry about the PPT. We don't have any. Is the audio not clear? Can you not listen properly?
Ma'am, it's clear.
It's clear? Okay, thank you.
Clear.
Okay, thank you so much. Someone has written not clear. Please check the audio connection or something from your end. So yes, getting back to what I was saying, we have the Learn the Rope program, which deals with all the major topics covered. So in case you think you require a bit of more practice with a topic, then you can join these sessions and ask questions and improve work on what you have learned, right? So these documents are accessible to everyone, irrespective of whether you come to the actual session or not. Okay. So this is, you will have a playlist. You will have all of this stored elsewhere. You will get a link to all of that. So you can watch it maybe later also, right? But no, in case you think that you need to come to the class, get it cleared, you can do that as well. So that is one thing. And then for the English 1 students particularly, I'll talk just about that since you're all foundation levels and going to be applying for this. I'll focus mostly on English 1. So along with Learn the Rope, you have other sessions like Read with Us. Now, Read with Us happens on Sundays. This is like a virtual reading session. Okay, so this is like a virtual library you have, no? Just to create that space for you. A lot of people, we really don't find that time. We are not able to find time on our own to sit and read, right? So if you're someone who is a reader and not able to find time or wants to read and do not know where to start, you can join these sessions. You will have both recommendations for readings to do, and if not, you can bring your own material and read in the room too, right? So this is a very silent session. I'm just going to join here. It will be joining a group of people and reading alongside. Okay, silently. You're not going to read out to anybody. Okay, so this is one thing. Next, we have a series of workshops that we do for you. Now, this is totally need-based, right? So some people write to us saying that they would like to improve a little bit on their writing skills. Some would say, I want to improve a little bit on the speaking skills. Now, everyone doesn't require all of these. Some of us are good speakers. Some of us are good writers. Some of us can write well. We are seasoned writers, right? So if you are one among that, you can come forth and be a participant in that workshop, help us conducting that. If not, you can ask others who think will need help with this, right? And ask them to join this. If not, you can also write to us directly. We float a form usually around that time. You can register and participate in all of those. Okay. So one such workshop is the oral communication skills workshop. And this is entirely meant for 3 segments. One's on group discussions, one on interviews, and one on presentation skills, out of which the interview is not meant for the English 1 students. It's usually done for the English 2. What the English 1 usually gets during their course is the presentation skills. Okay, mostly that. That is what the focus is on. And if time allows, we also do other ways of presentation skills, like, a storytelling workshop, so on and so forth. But the focus mainly for us is on presentation skills for English 1. Then there's another workshop which happens on writing skills, and this is a workshop in basic writing skills, which is focused mostly on descriptive writing. Okay, so we teach you a little bit about descriptive writing because that is considered as the baby steps to writing well. So we do about 4 classes each on all of these and try and collect the material that we give to you. We take your submissions and also provide you with feedback. Okay, so 2 workshops, one on the presentation skills, oral communication skills, and one on basic writing skills. Okay. You will also have an additional program titled Conversational Practice. Now, this is exclusively for people who think that, they do not have anybody to practice the English speaking skills. With a lot of us come from, neighborhoods where you cannot really find people who communicate in English, right? So, since you cannot work with language unless you practice it, especially speaking, we have introduced this program so that people who find it difficult to get a partner or a participant with whom they can speak and improve can find a space to practice their skills, right? So you need to send us a mail about this. We have a certain criteria. We'll communicate with you, and if you're selected, then you get a mail with the link to this session. Okay, so this is not open for all, unlike the other workshops that I mentioned that anyone can attend. But conversational practice is a restricted segment. This is only for people who really need help with speaking, right? So these are few of the additional programs that we have for you in English 1, right? We have more in English 2, but that's later. Like you have another session in resume writing, right? And group discussion. Okay, all of these segments are also available, but that's for the English too. Okay, these are all in all some of the things, some of the programs that we offer in connection with the English 1 and English 2 courses. And this has been proven useful over a period of time. Some of it has been there from the launch of the degree program, but resume writing, etc., have been a recent addition because we constantly follow feedback from people. And we've seen that a lot of people have requested for something that is beneficial to them from an industry point of view, or say something like business English and all. So keeping that in mind, we have introduced the resume writing workshops along with the professional writing sessions, which is a regular session for English too. Again, okay. So professional writing and resume writing are 2 additional programs, but for the English 2 students, because English 2 is advanced, and so we expect people to have cleared off their basic issues with the English and English 1, and then you get more to study about writing, professional writing, speaking, etc. in the English 2 programs. Okay. So quite a lot of them, none of them are compulsory sessions. Please keep that in mind. These are not going to affect your grading. These are only meant for people who would like to have it improved, okay, and do not find any other space to get it done. So for the cause of learners like that, to cater to their needs, we've put together these programs. Please go through all of them and check if it is useful for you, and if you think you have the need to attend them, please attend it. And as far as the courses itself are concerned, from your exam point of view, you definitely have channels towards us as discussion forums or the live sessions. Okay, that's all from my side about the program. I would like you to now unmute and ask any questions if you have. If it is more about the course content, I would be happy. But if it's on grading and other kind of things, then you may please wait. I think somebody from the support team would join and answer your questions. Any questions, anyone?
Ma'am, I'm
Yeah, actually,
I'm from the electronic systems course, and I would like
Yes.
to ask
Huh.
if the course content is going to start from week one altogether with the JE students who joined with us, or will it start from week
Yes,
five
yes.
for us?
Yes, that is what has been told to me, that it starts from week one, because I think they also would like to align it with the data science, is what I know. But if you want to get it clear, with need it with more clarity, maybe ask to the other instructors who join as well. As far as I know, I think it is from week one.
All right, so we are going to
Okay.
be aligned. The regular students are going to be aligned with the JE
Yes,
students
yes.
for the electronic systems. That's
Yeah,
correct,
I
right?
get. Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. That is all.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
for
All
conducting
right.
the session. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right.
Ma'am,
Anybody else?
good evening, ma'am. Am I audible?
This is Advaita, right? Advaita Abhinav.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, I had some questions whether about the mode of the exam. For example, in NPTEL, we have the exams in pen and paper mode. So, what
Yes.
would be the mode of the quizzes and exam exams in this
All
electronic
online.
system?
All online.
So, we don't
But you
have
have
to
to
use
report to the centers, right? You have to.
that is correct. But
Hmm.
whether we have to use the pen and papers like on the offline
No,
institute
no.
exams?
No, I think it could be different for different courses. I'm not aware of the other courses, but for our courses, no. You don't
All
need
right.
any pen.
All right.
Yeah.
There is one more question. Maybe
Yeah.
you could answer it. Otherwise, no, I have
Huh.
already qualified the qualifier in the last application process, and but also
Okay.
I want to improve the quiz one score. So I was planning to attempt the
Hmm.
quiz one again. So would I have to go through
Okay.
all the assignments again?
I am unsure,
All right.
Abhinav.
No
I think
problem.
you can ask this to others, right?
No
I'm not
problem.
I don't think I'm the right person to answer that.
So
Okay.
would anyone be present right here today,
Yes, yes, they
or
will. They
should
will all join
work online?
later, except for the ES students. You electronic system students, you can leave the meeting once the English orientation is done, because rest of the courses are all for the data science students. Okay,
All
so
right. All right, ma'am. I will just leave a mail to the administration.
excuse
Thank
me,
you.
okay. Yes, yes. Go on.
Good evening, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to
No
ask, since even
problem.
I am from electronic systems,
Yeah.
ma'am, when is the orientation? Is it on 23rd for the electronic system?
I don't know, Namal. I have not been informed of that. Why don't you write to the team directly?
Sure, ma'am. I'll ask them. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Uh,
Any other questions,
Good evening,
anyone?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, tell me, Pratham.
What's the difference between English 1 and English 2? Means English 2 is advanced. So, what are the things would be taught in
You will
English 1
have
and English 2?
different topics to deal with it. Like, for example, more courses on, we haven't distributed the skills across two courses. Like, it's not like reading, listening for English 1 and speaking, writing for English 2. You will have all the four integrated in all the modules for both the courses. The topics would be different. Like, for example, we deal mostly with the basic aspects like articles, prepositions, etc. In the first half, that is English 1. But as we progress to English 2, you will have topics like clauses and quantifiers, conditionals, a little bit of more advanced levels,
Okay.
which,
Okay.
okay.
And ma'am, have you any idea when the orientation would be, next orientation would be there for any other subjects or for the electronics systems?
No, Pratham. I think there should be a schedule that would be shared with you, but I do not have access to anything at this point.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Thank
Hello,
you.
ma'am. I would like to
Yes.
ask a question. I have a question regarding the course fees that have to be paid.
Vikram, these things, no, we're instructors and I don't think we're equipped to answer these things. Maybe you can write straight to the admin or the course support. Okay, they'll answer you this with clarity. Not that I cannot say, but I don't want to go wrong on these things. Let them answer you with more clarity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, does that mean we don't have any more questions?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, this is Maithili, right? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. How will you will be evaluating our spoken skills and writing skills?
Yes, yes. Spoken skills, these again, these are not part of your grading as such. For the exam, this doesn't count. but there are two programs called Improve Your Writing and Speak With Us. So what we usually do for the Speak With Us programs is that we give you topics, right? And we ask you to record an audio sample, send it to us, and then we provide you a very extensive feedback on that. Okay, and this happens weekly. Both
Writing
the
also.
both writing and speaking. Okay,
Okay.
but you just will have to check if which course has this available, because the set of programs, and maybe not all of them are provided in English 1. So they happen on two different occasions of English 1 and 2. So Speak With Us, I think it is maybe it is available for English 1. Let me check. I'll quickly let you know.
Hello, ma'am.
No, I am
Hello, ma'am.
actually.
Yes.
I have a doubt.
So just a second. Let her finish and then you can talk. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, I think Speak With Us for the English too, but you have conversational practice. But that, as I told you, it's restricted, so not everyone gets it. If we are convinced that you really have serious speaking issues, then we help you with that, and I mean we send you a mail and let you join the session. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Next, this was Advait, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have a doubt regarding the books.
Books.
Yeah.
Huh.
Relative book purchase in every.
No. So you don't have to purchase any books. You just need to follow the video lectures. We don't have any suggestions for books that you want to buy. Personally, from my end and on the team's behalf, we have decided that we don't suggest a particular book to be bought. However, you're free to refer to books, and that could be any good grammar book. Okay, there's no any specific publisher or author that we prefer. Any good grammar book would be good if you want to follow, right? But from our end, I think the video lecture should be sufficient, not needed.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Ma'am.
Yes.
What you taught in the English section?
Sorry, I'm sorry, your audio is not clear. I can't.
Ma'am, is that audible, ma'am?
Yes, better.
Ma'am, why in English 1 and English 2? What you taught in English 2 in that semester?
What do we teach in English 2 in that semester is what you're asking.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you asking me the topics for English 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you have topics like conditionals, clauses, clause structures, quantifiers. I can't remember all of them, of course. But yeah, like I told you, you will have topics in a few of them in sentence structure, which is grammar, and then other skills like writing and speaking and listening.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Tarun, maybe I'll take one more question from Tarun. I think it's time for the next people to join. Tarun, go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes.
actually, I want to ask that is this workshop will be free, or do we have to give some amount to join this workshop?
No, it's all free. It's all free.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Tanishka, I think you wanted to speak. Maybe last from you, and then we go to the next.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay. This is Leelamrit.
Yes, ma'am. It's Leelamrit. Ma'am, I'd like to ask that the workshops and those additional programs, those are compulsory or those are optional as per our
They're
choice?
optional. They're all optional. None of it is compulsory. This is only needs based, and that is if you feel like it, you can join. So,
Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. So, wish you all the best for your exams and your selection process and everything. And we'll meet and talk more after you join the programs. So, see you all soon. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for conducting this session.
Thank you so much. The ES students, electronic systems, you may please leave the meeting. You won't have to wait back since the rest of the topics are for the DS students.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
For clearing my doubt, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello. Thanks, Leda. Hello, everyone. I'm Srikanth Venkateshan.
one of the course instructors in IIT MBS degree, as well as ES degree too. Along with me, I have my fellow course instructors today who predominantly working in maths and stats courses. So today we are here to show you the contents of each of the courses one by one. So I mean each of the courses, I mean the maths 1, followed by maths 2, and then followed by stats 1 and then stats 2. Okay. So along with that, we will also discuss the most important thing which you all are waiting for, I guess, how to pass the course with flying colors. So we will also discuss some strategies or tricks that can be implemented by you to get a complete understanding in the course, in the contents, and also good grades. Okay. And finally, we will take doubts or questions from you people. Okay. So I hope I am clear. So we will start with the video. I will play a video of maths 1 and maths 2. In that particular video, you will get a complete gist of what are the contents that we are going to discuss in maths 1, then maths 2, and then what are the key strategies you should follow in maths 1 and maths 2. Is that clear? Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, voice is low.
Yes, Srikanth, go ahead.
Audible.
So, okay. I hope I am audible and everyone can hear me.
Yes,
so,
yes, Srikanth.
Okay. Only a small request from all of you is please try to be on mute when the video is playing. And once the video gets ended, then again we can have a discussion. Okay. Okay. So give me a couple of minutes just to open that and play for you. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So once again, I request everyone to be on mute. It's not 1 hour 20 minutes video. Don't get surprised by seeing the timeline. It's not the complete video I'm going to play. I'm going to play only the first 30 minutes of the video. Okay.
At support team. So even Shubham is. So yes. So as William Thurston has told, so like
can anyone of you, everyone are able to hear this video, right? Is there any difficulties in hearing this particular video?
Yes, the volume is very slow. Just need to improve the quality of it, Srikanth.
Improve the quality of it. Okay. So where shall I increase the volume? Okay, this is my max volume I can. Okay. Can you confirm now? I will just play this.
Yes, clear.
to understand mathematics is about understanding things, right? So similarly, data science, if you want to understand data science, you will have to understand through mathematics. And so here you can see here in the highlighted part, what we have mentioned is calculus and algebra. So we'll be doing calculus in maths 1 and algebra in maths 2. So this is just a small part of it, what we are telling right now. And similarly, like how do you deal with, like how do you use this calculus part in data science? So if you know something about data science, then you would have seen like it's about data, and then and then making predictions out of the given data and things like that. That is again a small part of data science. So for that you need a mathematical tool, or to understand those data or to make sense out of it, you will have to use mathematics again there. So how does this calculus comes in there? So there is something called gradient descent. So if you want to do that, again you'll have to use the calculus. And let's say if you want to do when you are doing some, when you have to compute a large parameter or like large matrix, you need algebra. So this is something. This is why we need mathematics. So Shubham, can you take to the first calculus?
Sure, sure.
So as I was telling, like, how do we understand data science with math, right? So this is another thing. So you see in the stock market, you want to do some kind of prediction. Like, is there any increase in the stock market on from the past 5 years? So how do you make an understanding? So, so even if you just give you a graph and then we can say like, okay, this graph is kind of increasing. So you can make a prediction saying that, okay, from past 5 years, this was increasing in so and so way with the slope so much, right? So again, that's maths. So how do you understand this? So this is a small part wherein we are using a linear algebra. So here, not exactly, but it's a concept of straight line, as you can see from here, right? So here, slope plays an important role to make an prediction, like what will be its future value, or let's say after 6 years or something. Like you can just make a small guess out of it. So yes, you know. Another thing is like in machine learning. So we know that a support vector machine. If you don't know, you will be knowing more this on further courses on machine learning or something. Wherein sometimes you categorize data using supervised learning model. So what you do is you make a prediction. Let's say if you want to predict something like what is the probability of a certain person having a certain disease, right? So how do you do this? So you will have set of parameters and then you make, segregate them, then you separate them accordingly, and then you refine it in a proper way, and then you come up with a proper model fit, and then you say like, okay, if it is about this, then that person is supposed to have this particular disease, or like you have a higher chance of getting that disease or something like that. So this is one part what we are discussing right now. So mathematics has an integral part in machine learning, deep learning, and AI, right? So yes, so that's one thing we can understand. So there are not just this; there are many other places where we use maths, right? So in game theory or fluid dynamics, or you want to do some kind of numerical analysis or optimization, which you will be dealing more on maths too, and some probability theory, then statistics, then cryptography, mathematical finance, right? Mathematical physics, chemistry, biology, economics, and control theory, you name it. Everywhere you need this math. So this becomes an really essential that you first have the foundational courses in maths, then followed by some more learnings in maths too. So this is something it becomes very important. So where all we use this maths one. So if you want to do some kind of resources allocations in organization, then again you need to have this real life applications of math, right? Then optimizations of hardwares in a device. Then you want to do some coding applications in non-destructive testing, right? So there again you need math. Then if you want to do some kind of some thinking and problem solving of a real life challenges, of course this course is meant for you. So, what we do exactly in math? So could you Shubham just take to the other slide? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So here, so as you all are, I assume that you all are qualifier batch right now. So this is your first orientation. So me, Shrikant, and Deepak will be handling maths one. So what we do is like we do content creations and we'll be taking live sessions for you. We'll be guiding you throughout your maths one journey. So yes, so what we do here is something. These are the topics which we will be dealing with. So we'll be first in first week, it will be set theory, relations, and functions. And on week two, we'll be dealing with straight lines. Week three is about quadratic functions. Week four is about polynomials. Week five and six, we deal with the functions. Then week seven is about sequences and limits. Week eight is about derivatives, maxima, minima. Then week nine is about integration. Week 10 is about, and 11 is on graph theory. so which you will also learn in your other non-mathematics subjects such as CT and other CS courses. And week 12 is about revision. So these are the things. So in depth, if you want to see, then you can see here in week 1, we deal with set theory. So what do we do actually here is we take you through number system with very basic thing. And you know that this program is designed for for not just the people with the mathematics background, but it also for working professional and non-maths background learners. So we take you through very elementary things like number system, sets and their operations, relations and their types, functions and their types. Then like the other elementary subjects like what we have studied in our high schools, such as straight line, coordinate geometry, section formula, forms of straight lines, then general equations of straight lines, some squared error, like these kind of things. And in quadratic functions, it's like quadratic functions, and then parabola and its properties, applications of quadratic functions, then quadratic equations and their solutions. And in polynomials, it's about like normal algebra of a polynomial. So that's basic addition, subtraction, multiplications, and division. So the algorithm which is used in this, so that kind of things. Then graphings of polynomials is very essential. Like you will be finding the intercepts, then zeros, then you will know what is multiplicities and behaviors. So I want to tell you in the very beginning that the graphing becomes a very important part, and the visualization is very, very important in math one. So that is something we have to pay attention.
Yeah.
So the week 5 is about functions. So we'll be dealing here more with like exponential function, and week 6 is about logarithmic functions. Week 7 is sequences and limits. So here we'll be dealing with like graphs and tangents. So this will start with this concept, starting with the tangents, and then we'll actually search for the definition of tangents. And like this is how you build up the concepts, and then you keep on understanding this better while knowing what are the limits of sequences, limits of functions of one variable, limits and continuity. And then you go with differentiability and derivatives. Then you find computing derivatives using L'Hopital's rule. Then you find out like tangents and linear approximations, then critical points, then computing maxima and minima. So these are some part of the calculus. The other thing is about integrations, wherein you'll be asked to find out the computing areas, and then very famous Riemann sum and its integrals. Then integrals as antiderivatives, and computing areas using integrals. So these are some calculus parts. So this is like very important again. So this is very much essential once you go to the further courses on like MLF or like MLT, these kind of courses, and you'll be dealing more on this, like on algebra part in Maths 2. And like week 11 is on graph theory, and week 10 is also the same. So wherein you'll be doing the concept like introduction to graphs. We'll be doing with breadth first search and depth first search. Then what do we mean by directed acyclic graphs? Then topological sorting. Then how do you find the longest path in DAX, transitive closures, matrix multiplication? So this is like discrete mathematics, wherein you'll be dealing more on algorithms, and we'll be dealing more with maths part here, rather than the coding part here. So this thing is also very much essential in your CT and other programming languages. So these will play a very important role for those courses. And then week 12 is the revision content. So it's like all these weeks gets over, and then we have made some revision videos. So we tend to release during those times to help you out with a short-term study of these courses. So this is about Maths 1. Then topics which may require an extra care is these kind of concepts like week 1. So we'll be dealing with
go back a little.
It's fine.
Okay, I'll just go back a little.
Functions, relations, domain, codomain, and range. Then week 5 functions, composite and inverse. Then you have this, which is very much important. And then week 10, which is advanced, which 10 and 11, which is advanced topics on graph theory, which is discrete part of mathematics. So these are some essential topics which you have to really pay attention to. Uh, Shubham? Yeah. So what are some of the suggestions from us? Like I'm since primarily for maths one. So I would say right from the beginning, study at your own pace, at your own time. Do not study the courses only for grades, because this is not going to help you out in any way. I and I and I and I you will experience this in this course. At every moment, your concept will be tested. So even if you know the formulas and you think like, oh, I'm done, it's not going to happen like that. So your concept will be tested every moment. So do pay attention for that. So it's very much essential that you study during hours when you feel productive, and each of us have our own methods of studying. So you should figure out how do you use it effectively, right? So this is something we'll have to figure out by ours, right? Then make a practice study plan. Like we always sometimes we make a schedule which is not we never follow it, right? So always make a practical study plan so that you can follow it easily, right? So that is something you will have to do it. And since you're just entering into the courses, your primary area will be like focusing on qualifier. So this becomes very essential that you start jotting down the points and you make a formula sheet from the beginning, that that you make a point out of it, and do not wait for someone else, like they give you a point and then give you a sheet or something like, okay, this is formula sheet or cheat formulas, and then be ready for your exams like that, right? So Shubham, can you take to the other side? So yes, do make a habit of making notes while studying each topic. Then how do you solve these things, right? So first, what is the methodology? How do you actually approach this course? So you first see the videos. Then we have designed something called activity questions. So these are not very tough questions. It is directly solvable questions after seeing the videos. And here we do not give solutions as such, but we give you right answers. But yes, you have privilege to give a multiple attempt for solving this. So primarily you should solve these activity questions and then switch to practice assignment questions, and then go with the graded questions. So this is the way you have to go through this course. For each week, watch the video, go to these activity questions, practice them, ask if you don't know. So those things you will have to do, and then go to the practice questions and then graded assignment questions. So practice assignment questions and graded questions, we do provide solutions as well. So that is something we do. And what do you do then? So once you try solving by yourself, so we will always have 3 live sessions. So it's like first live session will be on activity questions, second is like open sessions or division sessions, and third is like solve with us. So solve with us is you solve with us in a way, like we come up with some 10 questions or like some question, like 5 6 questions, and then you sit with us, solve with us, and then you understand, you participate actively how to answer this question. So this is how, like, in a week you have a 3 live sessions, right? So it is advised that you attend the live sessions, but it's up to you. It's not compulsory that you should attend. But as per like previous students' feedback, they found it really effective. So one suggestion can be like you can attend these live sessions. Then what do you do next? When you have further doubts, like let's say when you are solving this question, still the doubt is uncleared, you can still put those questions in the forum or like discourse. I think discourse, those students who qualify the courses, they get the access to discourse, but as if now you'll have the access to forum, so you can put your questions in the forum, wherein all of us will be there, like not just course instructor but other students as well, who actually give the response, and you can interact with them, right? So this is something we do there. So this is all about maths one. So what I would say in general is, as soon as the week starts, so do not put anything on the week ends. Like you should start learning from the day one. It shouldn't be, because see, you will, once the course starts, you will not have any time. So you see, like after once the course start, after a month, you will find you have your qualifier exam, right? So you should start jotting the points and you should start learning from the day one. And you see that what we will be discussing you in the live session is something we will not tend to discuss again. We will always point you there, okay, like we have discussed this there, so kindly go and see that. So it's very essential that be alert and active from the very beginning. And I assure you that maths 1 is uh, like the contents are very lengthy, okay, and you have lot to do, you have lot much material in this maths 1 session. So you will not have time. So if you keep it for the end, you will be really in trouble. So do not do that. So do jot down the points and effectively do it right from the day one. Do not keep it for the day end. So that is something I would give you an advice as of now. So Shubham will take you to the maths 2 syllabus, and then we can take up some of the questions what you have, then followed by stats 1 and stats 2. Thanks, Shubham.
Yeah. So thanks, Vicky. Brief introduction about math. So yeah, from maths 2, there are four structure, which is Susmita and Susan done my done. Will Vicky have done some application. Has just told you about some application of maths. So there are some more application you can think as like in maths 2 also. So maths 2 is the content which contains linear algebra, and there is another portion multivariable calculus. So there is one term gradient. So gradient is actually will have to find the maxima or minima value of a multivariable function. So as an application, if you can think that like you are on a hill and you want to go on the base of, like in a city, base of there is a city on the base of hill. So how will you that there is so foggy, the weather is so foggy. So the process is you will look around yourself and you will see that a place where you are actually able to see the place where you can go. So like you are finding the minimum fog, like a minimum value, if you think like fog as a function of multivariable. So that's the process, and slowly that is when you reach to the minimum where you are able to see the minimum fog or you are able to see the place, you will reach first, and slowly you will same process you will apply and you will reach to the ground. So that is this an example you can say, or application of calculus like a multivariable. So let's move on to the next example. There is one you can say an application of linear algebra. So this is like a example on the linear algebra applying like matrices and eigenvalues and eigenvector. In maths 2, you will done with the vector spaces and about the matrices. You will see eigenvalues, eigenvectors in machine learning foundation courses. So what is these pictures are saying that if you suppose you have a picture which is kind of blur, and suppose there are some tools so that using those this picture, using those tools, this picture can be converted anyhow in math, like matrix, and using singular value decomposition, that matrix can be converted to the some easy matrices, like in easy kind of like a diagonal matrices or whatever the things you can say. So saying to be using this singular value decomposition or in a linear algebra, you can optimize this picture. You can remove the blurring thing of the picture. So that is a linear algebra application you can say. If you are not understanding the terms like eigenvalues, eigenvector, don't worry with that. So yeah, so let's move on to our brief uh, course content of Maths 2. So this is an overall view of Maths 2. The first 2 weeks you will look the system of linear equation, where you will see there are like you will think that there are three variables and there will be a three equation or more equation, which you will learn to how to solve these equations. Then later weeks, like week 3 and 4, you will look about the vector space. That is nothing but a space with the some kind of operation, like two operation you will see there. Now next is the next up this like week 5 and week 6, you will see about linear transformations. And later on you will like week 7 and week 8, you will look about affine subspace, which is about like a subspace. You will see that vector space, subspace has nothing but a vector space kind of thing. Those things we'll look around. And next is you will see inner product spaces. After these weeks, finishing these weeks, there will be a relation you can say will look like whatever you learn from maths 1, the calculus part. Here you will see in in multivariables function. There you will look about the one variable, but here on week 10 and 11, there will be multivariable functions. There you will look about same thing as differentiability or partial derivative, tangents or tangent line. So these things you will look on week 10 and 11. And week 12 is will be like a revision, whatever from week 1 to week 11. So now deeply if we look about week 1, so week 1 is contains vectors, matrices, system of linear equations, and determinant of matrices. So as you know, when you know what is the matrix, as who have done till 12, those people know about the matrices. So determinant is a property of matrix. So this thing you will look around week 1, and in week 2, you will know how to solve the system of linear equation with the some tools, the tools like Cramer rule and solution of system of linear equation, finding a solution of system of linear equation with the invertible coefficient matrix. Then you will use another tool like Gauss elimination method, so which you will get using the echelon and reduced to echelon form. So this is on week 2, and in week 3, you will now come to a space which is called vector space, and you will know the properties of vector space. And then after will know the when the vectors are called linear independent or dependent. So vectors are nothing but like when you hope you know that in a real line only. So when you come to in vector space, the dimension will change like in R2, R3. So those elements are from R2, R3 you can call vectors. So these are in, you will look in week 3, and in week 4 you will know about the basis of a vector space and dimension of the vector space. So this is in week 4 you will see, and this red kind of saying that these points are little bit of comparison to the basis or rank. So red color is highlighting that these topics are somewhat abstract. Now next is on week 5 you will look the null space of matrices and null space of matrices with some example you will look, and then you will know the linear transformation. Now in week 6 you will see some more about the linear transformation and ordered basis and matrices, matrix representation of linear transformation, and you will know about the image and kernel of a linear transformation. And then in week 7 you will see the properties, some properties like equivalence and similarity of matrices. And there is term another affine service space. Again, this is a highlighted, so somewhat abstract this topic. And then you will know about the length and angles of a vector and inner products and norm of a vector. In week 8, you will see about the orthogonality and linear independence or dependence. You will see the norms, orthonormal basis, projections, Gramsci's process to get the orthonormal basis, and orthogonal transformation and rotations. these terms or these contents will come in week 8. Now in week 9, after studying the linear algebra, you will come to the multivariable. In multivariable, you will look about the again limit kind of thing which you done in maths 1, but it will be the different scenario, somewhat little bit more in saying to be the word, or the dimensional derivative or continuity of a multivariable function. So you will see these in week 9, and in week 10, you will see steepest ascent and descent, and you will look about the tangents of multivariable function, tangent hyperplane, critical points, which gives the maximum or minimum value, as you seen an example of the gradient. Here these critical points will help you to find the minimum or maximum value of the function. So, and in week 11, you will see that what is the process to getting maximum or minimum value, which is there is use of matrix, which is in terms of, you can say, Hessian matrix, to getting the local maximum, local minima or local maxima, and you will know about the differentiability of the multivariate function. And something in week 12, we will again, the things are revision of week 1 to 11. So these are the contents in maths 2 till week 11 or week 12. Now there are some suggestions to how to approach maths 2. So like, what is the first, when you are going to start a week content, how you will see that the first thing is watch the video lecture. When you are watching the video lecture, what you will do, try to take notes. Otherwise, there are slides which professor will use in the lecture. You can take as a notes also. And next is note down the concept which you find difficult in watching watching video lecture. Now try to solve those example which have done by the professor in the video lecture. So these things, while you watching video lecture, these things aspect to done by you. Now next step is, then after watch the tutorial. After watching the video, watch the tutorial video. But before watching the tutorial video, there are some suggestion that try to solve the example which are in the tutorial videos. Now next is, if you find some difficulties, take help. When you are solving those tutorials question, these are difficulty to solve those, then you look the tutorial video. And there is another application, or that is website, you can say, that GeoGebra, where you will see the geometric visualization of the whatever you will see, like there in tutorials or in video lectures, you will see the geometric visualization of the concepts. So you will also use expect to use the GeoGebra kind of thing, and which you will how to use, you can learn also in the live sessions how to use GeoGebra. Now next is, after watching the contents, now go to the solve with assignments. So there is one thing before to jump to the activity question, to solve the activity question. In between the video lectures and activity, there is one assignment which is called solve with assignment, and in this assignment there are the key points have written from the video lectures, and there are some questions. So these questions done by just watching the video lecture. These questions are very easy. Still, if you are facing difficulty, when you choose an option, it will give you a feedback how to solve this question or where you are making mistake. So this is a beautiful thing about the solve with assignment, and this you can use in the a note of the whole maths too. There are written some key points which you can use as a revising the things of the contents of maths too. Now after going through the solve with assignment, then move on to the activity question. And in activity question, try to solve the question yourself, point out the question you find difficult, and ask those questions in discourse, as Vicky had just introduced you about the discourse or forum. There you can post your queries regarding the activities or conceptual whatever you have. And also you can come with those questions in live session with the concept also where you are facing difficulty to understand. After solving activity question, just move on to the practice assignment, which is a very similar to the graded assignment, which is, that graded assignments is fully up to you that you need to solve the graded assignment. So before to solve graded assignment, just practice those questions, which is very similar in the practice assignment. So solve first practice assignment. Still you are facing difficulty, then look the solution PDF. Before that, just solve yourself. So this is the process. If you apply to approach, like if you approach this maths 2, this will be very helpful to you to understand the topics and questions or solving the questions. Now there is some important aspects. So from you to try to attend the live session, or you can watch those sessions on YouTube later also. Now next is clarify your doubts in live session and discourse. The thing, as just now I told you about GeoGebra, so use GeoGebra and play around it to get your concepts and geometric visualization clear. So GeoGebra is a very useful tool of mathematics to visualizing the concept like what is place, what is R3, or what is tangent plane, what is tangent line. So these things you will, when you are using GeoGebra, you will know that. Now spend more time to clarify the concepts which are quite abstract. So like as I have while we are looking the contents, there are some highlighted portion. So those you can think as abstract. So spend some time to get clarified. Now next is, which is need to focus on, like if you are from class 10 or non-STEM background or working professional, so suggestion for you to spend significant amount of time for both mathematics courses, because this you will find like you didn't go through like in 12 mathematics, or you forgot while you're working, you forgot the things. So it will take time to observe these things. So that's why I spend some significant amount of time. Now, if you are class 12 and science background, so some portion of polynomials, graph theory in math 1, and linear algebra and multivariable in maths 2 may be new to you. So yeah, the vector space for you will be new to you, or multivariable like Hessian matrices or critical points will be new to you. Now, if you are engineering student, some portion like linear algebra and multivariable from maths 2 may be new to you. So you should clarify these concepts. So these are the points which we want to emphasize to you.
Okay. So that's the video. And I hope you got some insights about Maths 1 and Maths 2 concepts, as well as some key strategies you should be implementing for getting good grades or maybe getting some clarity about the concepts. Okay, so I would like to take some questions from Maths 1 and Maths 2 very quickly. If someone want to ask any questions related to Maths 1 or Maths 2, you can raise your hands and then we will take your query. Are there anyone who are doing Maths 1 and Maths 2 here? Yes. So yeah, Sunita.
Sir, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Sir, I wanted to ask that like Maths 1 and Maths 2 are interrelated. So suppose I have cleared Maths 1 and I want to apply for Maths 2 now. So if I want to revise the topics of Maths 1 before starting Maths 2, So how can I get those topics again on my like?
See,
If
once you finish any course, you will have access to that particular course throughout your 3 years of whatever, how much ever you
Okay.
want to.
So when I visualize my dashboard, when I go to my current courses, so it will be present there, or where I can see?
It will be present there. If you have the if you have the link for Math 1 course, so I hope it is 23 T2 underscore NSMA 1001. Right? If you have the link to that, you
I
can.
don't have the link. I mean, what you are telling, is that the link?
Okay, so maybe you just go through your dashboard. So you will
Okay.
have the list of courses which you have done and list of courses which you are currently doing. So
Okay.
both of them will be visible on your dashboard.
Okay, sir. And suppose if I have some issues, then whom to approach?
So if you have any support related kind of questions, there is our support mail ID. So you just have to
Okay.
mail us and we will get back to you.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, any other questions? So one question we got from the feedback form which we shared to all of you guys. So let me read out the question, and yeah, before that, let me introduce you the course instructors for mathematics courses in this particular term. So I will go through one by one. We have Shubham Maurya, who is a course instructor for Mathematics 1 course, as well as Vishal Raj. He is also a course instructor for Maths 1. So these two instructors are your primary instructors for this particular term for Mathematics 1 course. So Shubham or Vishal, would you like to say anything?
Hello everyone, this is Shubham. So hope all of you gone through the we just know whatever we played about the courses, the whole gist you just now saw regarding the maths one. So my suggestion is from like from maths one side. So I will suggest you to please try to attend the live sessions. It will clear your more doubts and ask the questions in Discourse and the Google group we have for maths one. And also we are trying to conduct the TA sessions where you will see where you can attend and directly ask the doubts from the TAs, the particular doubts, even the activity practice, you can ask doubts there. And also when the quizzes will near, you can see the older QP discussion, like you can see the at least 1 or 2 old QP paper there, which will be discussed by TA. So try to attend those, and also those sessions you will get video link you will get from the calendar. So everything whatever will happen you will go through or you will get from the announcement. So try to be attentive at least for maths one, because in maths one we have some which is the you haven't seen the 12th, which is in the calculus and the graph theory. So two topics are maybe you will see anew. Not for all of you who have done some BSc or BTech, they already seen that, but who is just came from the 12th, maybe that things will new. Okay, so that's from my side. All the best for the upcoming term. Okay.
Yes, thanks, Shubham. Vishal, would you like to add any points here?
Yeah. So yeah, hello, hi everyone. So this is Vishal. So whatever the point I was like, so only one point I want to say is like you can just from whoever is not from the science background. So this program is well planned. So I don't think so you'll be facing any issues. But one thing is you should be attending the live session as much as you can. So this is what yes, I have to say. And all the best for your upcoming journey.
Okay, thanks, Vishal, and thanks, Shubham. Let me take up that particular question, and that question is not that related to mathematics. It's for a common kind of question. Let me read out the question, and then I will just answer it. So when will the course registration open for the student who have cleared qualifier on August 6th? So for those who don't know what has happened on August 6th, we have conducted a reattempt qualifier for the students who failed the May qualifier. So please do not worry. Your course registrations for August 6th qualified students, as well as the students who qualified recently, everyone, you will get your course registration will be opened after September 11th. Okay. So once the results get published for this particular term, then we will open the course registrations. Okay. So that's it for Maths 1 and Maths 2. If any one of you have any doubts related to Maths 1 and Maths 2, you can raise your hand and ask. No? Okay. Okay, then let's move to, yeah.
Good evening,
Hello?
sir. This is Ikram Khan.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Sir, I've just completed my Maths 1 program and Maths 1 course, and I am from science background up until 12th standard. So I was wondering that just as I've seen, most of the contents from Maths 2 seem quite new, and I was hence wondering what will be the pace of learning for Maths 2.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, I got your question. Let me also. Sorry,
yes,
I lost
sir.
you, Imran. Ikram, sorry. Can you repeat the last statement which you said?
Yes, sir. Maths 1 seemed quite peaceful, and but it was quite okay because I had a background in maths up until 12th standard. So how would be Maths 2? The
Okay.
pace, I mean.
Okay, understood the question. And okay, let me introduce one more person in this particular room. Your Maths 2 instructor, who is Karthik Tyagarajan, who is also here. I missed him. So Karthik, so can you just briefly introduce yourself and just able to answer his query too?
Yeah, so yeah, hi, Ikram. So what is the question? It's about
so it's about he is from science background, but as he saw the contents of Maths 2, so most of the contents are pretty new to him. Adding to that, the Maths 1, he done Maths 1 course, and he felt it little bit pacier, very fast. And how will the Maths 2 contents be? Pace of the Maths 2 contents.
Okay, so Ikram, the Maths 2 will be the concepts that even though you're from a science background, you might not have seen some of these things, right? So I'm assuming by science background, you mean PCA and computer science or PCA biology, something like that, right?
PCA, yes.
So if you have done PCA, then you would have seen vectors to some extent, you would have seen vectors, dot product, cross product,
Yes,
and all that, right? So that part of it will be slightly familiar to you, right? So we will be looking at vectors, dot products and all that, but we'll be looking at it from a slightly more theoretical perspective, right? So it will be more of it'll be a new experience, right? So in that sense, you'll have to be prepared for that. Okay, so we look at vectors, but it is not like the vectors that we are used to in physics, right? So these are more abstract, right? So the idea is Max 2, I think the way it will differ from Max 1 is it will introduce the idea of abstraction to you, right? So how do you deal with vectors as algebraic objects, right? So where you can add vectors, scale them, things like that will be good. So in that sense, you'll have to maybe put in slightly more effort in the first few weeks, right? So one suggestion from our side is make the first few weeks are very important, right? Especially this weeks 3 and 4, I believe they introduce you to this abstract idea called vector space, right? And rest of the course is based on that. So you'll have to spend some time getting those things right. Towards the end, anyway, you will revisit calculus, but for multiple variables, right? Multivariable calculus, as you call it. So there again, you will things will start becoming, I think, more familiar to you. You would have already done it in Max 1. So my suggestion would be focus on the first few weeks and make sure that you say at least till this one, right? Make sure that you understand that part really well, and then from there, I think you can slowly take it forward. So this last week is one break week, one revision week. So we can assume that there are 11 weeks of content, and you can plan accordingly.
Okay, thanks, Karthik. I think he has also asked about the pace of the course. So, yeah.
Pace of the course. Okay, by pace of the course, do you mean like will it be very crowded?
How many hours he has to spend, or
Okay.
such like that? Am I correct, Ikram? Is he left?
No, I think he has left the call.
Okay. Okay. If he comes back, we will discuss that. Okay. With that, we are closing Maths 1 and Maths 2 here, and let's move to Stats 1 and Stats 2. So before I start a video or anything, let me clear you one thing. Whatever videos I am playing right now, so those are already made available to you guys. Please go through the videos thoroughly. Because of lack of time, I may not be able to play the videos. I have to check with the team members. So for that, I will introduce Stats 1 and Stats 2 instructors for you now. So Stats 1 in this particular.
I have a general doubt.
Yes.
So when I once heard that IITM will open its doors to students who want BS students who want to study for at least a week or so. So for this year, what is the particular dates when it will open? Like physical study rooms.
Oh, you mean that weekly study room?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So Mohit, I'm very sorry. I'm not the right person to answer this particular question. Maybe you just have to mail to support team. So this particular session is completely on technical discussions, and I'm not aware of when that will be open. Or maybe I will just check with my fellow instructors. If any one of you know, please, I'm very much happy to give you the mic. Okay, don't worry, Mohit. I will give you the mail ID to whom you should reach out to. Please reach out to them, and they will be able to answer your query. Okay. Hopefully, that will be open after the course starts, I guess. Okay, Mohit.
Yes, sir. And also another question. That registration form, it will open on any 3 days between 10th to 18th September.
Right. So we are yet to publish the results of this particular term, and we are hoping we will be done by September 10 or 11, and then we will open the registration forms.
Yes, sir. Will it open with all the 6 courses, or will it open semester wise?
No, the registrations will open at a time, I guess. For all the foundational courses, we will open at the same time.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Thanks, sir.
Thanks. Okay, I will come back to you, Ayush. Let me introduce my Stats 1 and Stats 2 instructors to you, and then I will come back to you. Okay. So I will start with Prashant Sharma, who is a course instructor for both Stats 1 and Stats 2. So he'll be the course instructor in this particular term, September 2023, for both Stats 1 and Stats 2. And then I have Nikita Kumari. She is also course instructor in Statistics 1, and she is also course instructor in diploma level for MLF course. Okay. Yeah, Prashant, Nikita, would you like to say anything about your Stats 1 course to the students?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Prashant.
Yeah. So, hi all, good evening. So, the only thing I can say, I mean, there's no need to worry about some difficulty of the stats 1 and all. So, if you are familiar with probability and some PNC concept, PNC means permutation and combinations, then you can easily, you will be able to do the stats 1 course. There is not that much difficulty. After that, we'll move some intro to random variable, then some distribution and all. So yeah, that's all from my side. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Prashant. Nikita?
Yeah, hello all. Uh, hope you have watched the videos that were shared to you. So, stats one, you will have the topic starting from very basics. So, even if you have not studied the statistics before, so it's okay. Once you start the course, you will go through all the basic concepts. So, it starts with uh, it starts you will also go with like topics like random variable, different distributions, uh, what's the difference between inferential statistic, descriptive statistics, various methods, mean, median, mode. So all the basic topics uh, that are covered in stats one. So it is sufficient for you. So don't worry about it. And if you have, hello, I think I missed in between. So if you have any doubt, like any question that you want to ask for stats one, maybe you can raise your hand and we'll be happy to take it.
Yes, thanks, Nikita Kumari. If you have any doubts related to stats one, students who wanted to do stats one, please raise your hands and ask your query. Or okay, let me introduce myself. I'm Srikanth Venkateshan, one of the course instructors for statistics too, and also I deal multiple other courses in ES, mathematics, and also degree level course which is mathematical thinking. Okay, so in stats 2, me along with Prashant Sharma, I introduced you. So we both will be dealing statistics 2, and stats 1, Nikita and Prashant will be dealing. Okay, now open for stats 1 and stats 2 questions. So if any one of you in this particular room, if you have any questions related to stats 1 and stats 2, please raise your hand. Or
many of the concepts in stats 2 related to statistics and probability?
Yes. So what you can say is we start with multiple random variables. Okay, we start with random variable itself. So once a random variable comes into the picture, we deal the probability comes into the picture. You don't know how it comes, but it comes. So we will start with multiple random variables, and then look at the joint distribution between those two random variables, or maybe more than two random variables, and we will start understanding how the cumulative distribution functions and probability mass functions for discrete, and probability distribution functions for probability density functions for continuous. We will make ourselves comfortable with this random variable stuff in the first 4 or 5 weeks, and then we will slowly move into the actual statistics, which starts from week 7. So we will see how to do a sampling from a distribution. So once we have the samples from the distributions, what can we infer about the distribution? So how these samples are related to the actual distributions, and then we try to compute the probabilities and bound the probabilities using very well-known theorems or um, results we have in statistics. Very interesting results we have in statistics. And then we finally move to estimations. We estimate the parameters, and finally we end with hypothesis testing. Okay, so that's
okay, sir. So
very briefly about stats too. Yeah.
Will there be any programming related exams for stats?
No, not exams. So we are not going to test you, but there are some extra activity kind of things which you can do by yourself, and that will work as a bonus for you. So it's actually an extra thing, extra activity kind of thing, which you can do on your own interest. And if you do that properly, or if you submit the codes or whatever. If you have some Python knowledge, you just have to do in extra activity. What you have to do is you have to collect the real time data, and then try to impose a model on it and try to compute some probabilities out of it. Try to bound use CLT or whatever statistical method you learned in statistics 2, you implement there and try showing the results for us. And
Okay,
that's
sir.
all an extra activity thing. Okay, so if you are interested, you can do
Yes,
it.
sir.
If you are not interested, you can skip it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, we got some 2-3 questions in the feedback form. So let me read out the questions and maybe one of our instructors will answer you. And then I will just move on. We will just move on to CT and Python discussion. Okay. So the first question I have is from Sinchana. He is asking, is it more difficult than Maths 2? So I'm referring to Statistics 2 course. Is it more difficult than Maths 2? Is it advisable to take it with a relatively tougher subject? Or all the courses advisable to be taken together? So we have three different, maybe we can split it into three different questions. The first question is it more difficult than Maths 2? Okay, let me see. Prashant, would you like to answer this, or Nikita? Or do I have to answer? Proceed.
Yeah, sorry. Can you repeat the question, Shrikant?
So the question is Stats 2 more difficult than Maths 2?
Okay.
Okay.
Can someone from Maths to?
Yes. Okay, maybe I will take up this particular question.
Yeah, Shrikant, go ahead.
Yeah. So in my point of view, difficulty is subjective to one's own interest, right? So if you are passionate about mathematics, then you feel Maths 2 is slightly easier for you, and Stats 2 you might see very new concepts coming into the picture. And we will also use there is an underlying thing which Maths 2 will be an underlying thing for Stats 2. So I don't say Stats 2 is difficult, but it will be definitely a challenging to you, and you will enjoy that challenge. Okay, so if you are not from the maths background, if you are not fascinated about mathematics, then Maths 2 and Stats 2 looks like same to you. Like both will be in headers to you. So you have to spend equal amount of time in both of the courses. And the next question is it advisable to take it with a relatively tougher subject? And definitely not. So because Stats 2 requires time. So the contents are so rigorous in Stats 2. So you'll be introduced to new concepts in every week. So understanding those new concepts takes time, and you have to practice more number of problems or examples on one particular topic. So Stats 2 definitely requires a time, requires you to spend some time. So if you ask me how much time do I have to spend per week, the answer for that is at least some 10 to 15 hours, solid 10 to 15 hours, okay, per week. So definitely not, it is not advisable to take it with a relatively tougher subject, I mean Maths 2. So our recommendation is please do complete Maths 2 and then come to Stats 2, because in Stats 2 we are going to do double integrals, so many mathematical equations you are going to see. So if you have some base in multivariable calculus, how the two variable functions looks, then you will find Stats 2 relatively easier. So our advice is complete Maths 2 and then come to Stats 2. And are all the courses advisable to be taken together? So if you are not advising any other course to be taken along with Stats 2, then definitely no other courses are advisable to be taken together. All the courses to be taken together. So if you want to do two courses per term, where one course is being Stats 2 Our suggestion is make it with Python or English 2, not with Maths 2. Okay. Okay.
Sir,
so,
one question.
Yes.
Is Maths 2 then a prerequisite for Stats 2?
It's not prerequisite for Stats 2. It's a core requisite for Stats 2. So you can do Stats 2 along with Maths 2, which is not the best advice we are going to give you. So that is why our advice is complete Maths 2 and then come to Stats 2. So you can't do Stats 2 in this term and then do Maths 2 in the next term.
Yes, sir.
It's a core requisite. Core requisite means you can do the courses in the same term.
Okay, so we can take 4 courses together.
If you have your percentage or whatever grade, if you have the eligibility to choose 4 courses, you can choose 4 courses. But our advice is, along with Stats 2, it's better if you take one other course, so that Stats 2, not only getting good grades, you will also have time to understand the concepts in Stats 2.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So this is our suggestion. Yeah, that's.
Sir, even for a full-time BS degree student who is, doing this standalone.
Okay, if you are doing this particular course, standalone course, let me tell you very clearly, Stats 2 feels like, I'm not saying for most of the student, it feels like a burden of 2 courses. Okay. Stats 2 itself stands like a 2 courses. And when you are taking Stats 2 along with Maths 2, it feels like you are doing 4 courses at a time, which is pretty heavy, right? In a particular 3 months of time period, to learn 4 courses, learn, not to gain grades, to understand the concepts, it requires time. So that is why we not only for the students who are doing 2 degrees, for the students who are doing this degree as a standalone also, we recommend not to take more than 2 courses along with Stats 2. Okay. Okay, let me move to the next question, which I have. Okay, so how would you compare the difficulty level of Stats 1 with Stats 2? If you can compare this with numerically, how can you compare? So maybe Prashant, would you like to answer this particular question?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, thanks.
So if you compare the stats one, stats one is just, you can say just level 1 of the statistics. It starts from data, some descriptive and all. We'll move to the random variable, as I already told you. And in stats 2, it's you can say another level of this things, just some deep level of stats one. So yeah, it's some little bit. You can find the level of the stats 2 as compared to stats 1, some higher at a higher level. But if you are able to put some significant amount of time, then there will not be any problem to any problem to solve the questions in stats 2 and to learn the concepts in stats 2. Hope I answered your question. So numerically, some sort of it starts to involve some 1D integration, 2D integration. So it's some little bit higher, but not that much. If you will put some significant amount of time, then you'll be able to do. That's. Hope
Good
I
evening,
have
sir.
given. Yeah. Good evening. Good evening.
Sir, my question is I am through from J-base category, J-base entry.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is I can choose course 2 course or 4 course or not.
Dixit, for this, you can contact to the support team. Actually, these how many courses you can take. It's based on the how is your CCC actually. Okay, so they
Yeah.
will help
What, sir?
you out for the same. How many courses you can take at a time. Okay.
Already four course are giving by this course.
No. So are you going to apply this first time? or starts on Maths 1?
No, sir. I am through from J base entry, not qualifier phases.
Okay. So can you contact to the support team? They will help actually. Okay. They will
Okay,
help
sir.
you how many courses you can take. Yeah. Sure.
Sir, I had a question. Like,
Yes.
what is the approximate dates of the first quiz of the second term?
Sorry, first quiz of the. Can you repeat your question?
What is the approximate date of the first quiz of the second term?
Okay, this September term, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I'm not wrong, it's about 29th October.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
And sir, when would our lectures begin for this September term?
22nd September.
22nd September.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Yes,
my
Sushant.
second question is,
Yes.
J base student can giving quiz 1 or quiz 2 or not?
Dixit, I'm not sure about it, but I do. I think you have to give the exam. Okay. So
Direct ending exam.
for more clarification, you can talk to the support. If any one of us is aware about it, so they can help you out. But I'm not sure about it or JE base and all. Or else simply you can talk to the support team. They will help you out. How many courses you can take, which exam you have to give and all. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
So yeah, thanks,
Ready
Prashant.
for interrupting? Hello.
Yes, hello.
When Python orientation will start?
We'll start now. So we'll start with maybe Karthik. You can take over from here. So thank you so
Hi.
much, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So for Python, two of us are here currently. So my name is Karthik, as you might have known, and we have Livin with us. So Livin, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Livin Hector. So I will be your course instructor along with Karthik for this term.
Okay, thank you, Livin. So we have one more course instructor, Mayur, who was not able to join today. So three of us will be there for Python. So do you have any questions for Python or CT? I don't think any CT Vishal is there. So, but anyway, for CT and Python, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask.
Sir, what are OPPE sessions? What
So,
exactly are they?
OPP is like an exam. It's an online exam. So it's a coding exam, right? So it's not a theoretical exam. It's a practical. It's like your practicals, right? So you'll be given 3-4 questions. You'll have to code it. You'll have to write the code. It's a timed exam, so you'll be given 90 minutes to solve 4 problems, right? So it's OPP stands for online proctored programming exam, right? So you will be monitored remotely by proctors. Proctor is nothing but an examiner, right? So you'll have examiners monitoring you remotely. So there'll be 2 such exams, and you have to pass at least one of the 2 exams for you to clear the course.
2 OPPEs in the whole term, in the whole Python term.
Yeah, you will have to clear at least one. You have to pass at least one to get the final course grade.
Okay, sir. We'll be supposed to write codes.
Yeah, you have to write code. Unlike
remotely from our home.
Yeah, remotely from your homes. Yeah.
With our computers.
Right.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So I'll just quickly summarize what will happen in Python, right? So Python, you'll have roughly 10 to 11 weeks of content, right? So you'll have 10 to 11 weeks of content. So a lot of things will be similar to CT, right? So in CT, if you have done CT, I'm assuming you have done CT, right? So you would have seen for loops, while loops, dictionaries, lists, strings, okay, all functions, procedures, all this we'll be seeing in Python also. OPP I've already mentioned, right? There will be a programming exam. You'll have one theory exam and you'll have two theory exams, quiz 1 and end-term exam. You won't have a quiz 2 theory exam. Instead of that, you'll have 2 OPPs. Apart from that, we'll be having live sessions like any other course. So we'll have at least 2 sessions every week. So either Livin, me, or Mayur, right? One of these 3 instructors will be discussing some problems, solutions to problems, right? So yeah, so it will be fairly straightforward. Python, we won't do anything too complicated or hard, right? So, but what we have generally observed is that you have to keep practicing right from day one, right? So please please write that down. Okay, so we have to practice. That's the main point, thing that we have observed over the years. Students who don't practice end up performing very poorly in these proctored exams, OPPs as we call them. So every single day, at least try to solve one problem. That will be in good shape if you are able to stick to that. Right? Any questions?
I'm not in Python course, but I'm a bit confused about the OPPE procedure because they say before OPPE you're supposed to take a few tests, one of which is called the system compatibility test. After that, what are we supposed to do?
So that is just to make sure that as the name of the test says, right? Your system is compatible for the OPPE. So that's just part of the protocol for you to appear for the exam, right? So you'll have to do that once in this program, and then after that you will be able to appear for any online proctored programming exam. So the
SAT is like a eligibility test.
no, so not eligibility. It's just to make sure that your computer is in good condition for you to give these exams. That's all. It's not a technical exam. It's just to make sure that your system is compatible for you to write this exam. That's all. Nothing else.
So there's only an SCT and no PPE.
No, SCT is like to make sure that your system is good. OPP is a part of the course, right? So OPP is like any other exam. Only thing is that it will happen remotely and it will be a practical exam, right? So we'll have to write code there. Instead of just MCQ, MSQ, NAT, you will be writing code and you will be evaluated based on how well you perform, right?
Okay, sir. So what about the types of questions that can be asked apart from the MSQ, MCQ, and NAT?
These will be programming based questions, right? You will get to know that moment you register for the course. So are you familiar with coding platforms like Code?
Yes, sir.
It will be similar to CodeChef, but much simpler than that. Okay, so if you have
like CodeChef and HackerRank.
Yeah, it won't be as hard as problems you see there. It's a beginner, it's an introductory Python course, right? So we'll start with questions which are much more simple than that, elementary questions, right? So how do you add 2 numbers in Python, or how do you print this in Python? How do you write a simple for loop to find out what are the factors of a number? So things like this, right? Basic questions, and then we slowly build up the complexity.
So you mean to say that the test is basically adapted to the level of a person's ability to solve a program?
Yeah, so right. So the course is not algorithmic in nature, right? We won't test you on algorithms, right? Even the algorithms that you have studied in computational thinking, like depth first search, all that we won't test you on. It will be just your ability to come up with simple codes, right? And basic logic, right? How well are you able to logically understand and solve a problem?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anything else that anyone would like to know about Python?
Sir, during OPPs, if in an unfortunate incident, or we get some problem with our internet connections, or suddenly such problems, is there any backup for that? Do we have any arrangement?
That's a bit tricky. That will be decided on a case-by-case basis, right? So there is no blanket rule regarding this. It depends on what that particular day is, right? So see, that's why we have 2 OPPs, right? Both are not mandatory, but you'll have to clear one at least. Okay. So in case, let's say OPP1 for some reason, something unfortunate happens, like say your laptop suddenly conks off and you're not able to conducting a repeat OPP just for 1 or 2 students itself is going to be a bit hard, right? Because we'll have to maintain the same level of difficulty and all that, right? So it's a bit hard, but we will address this whenever it comes, right? If such a situation arises, we'll address this. And until then, we can't say anything concrete.
Okay, sir.
Okay, anything else?
Sir, I am Dr. Chetan Joshi. My son is doing foundation course. So whether any date has been declared for the registration of this upcoming September class or September course?
Sorry, course registration. Can you please tell me what is the query regarding course registration?
Sir, he has completed 7 courses. So now he has left only 1 course. So what is the registration date for the September course?
Oh, okay. So can one of the students please answer this, because I am not aware of the registration date. It's more of an orientation session.
Sir, they said it is between 10th to 18th, any 3 days.
10 to 18 September.
Yes.
Yes.
Achha, he can register in that period. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any 3 days in that period.
Okay, sir.
Not yet finalized.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so any other questions related to the course Python?
What is the major difference between CT and Python?
So major difference is you won't have to code in computational thinking. In Python, you will have to write code. So you'll have to actually write code, right? So in CT, it's all pseudocode. So that's the main difference. The other difference is, well, yeah, that's the, as far as I can see, that's the only difference. Levin, do you want to add anything difference between Python and CT? Anything that you see differently?
Yeah, I'm audible.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, sure. So in CT, you will have only the pseudo code like of things. So how the logic works and kind of things. But in Python, you are introduced to the syntaxes and the variables and the data types, and introduced to the real programming language that you can actually run to get the results of it. So it's more like implementing rather than understanding the concepts. So CT helps you understand. Python helps you implement that. So that's what is focused here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. Thanks. Anyone else has any Python CT question?
Any platform recommendation for Python practice?
Sorry, any?
Python practice, any platform recommended from your side for practicing Python?
So you're asking like coding platforms?
Where I can practice Python.
Yeah, like want to practice like want to run your own code, or you want to solve problems? What are you? Could you be more clear on that?
Solve
if you
problems.
Want to solve problems, right? So you can find this website like HackerRank, CodeChef, LeetCode. These all provide sample problems. You could also use that as an additional material to solve the problems. In our course, we also have the practice problems, and there also you could practice that problems we provide, practice programming assignments, and there is also graded programming assignments. You could practice on that. If you want additional material, you could refer this sites called HackerRank and CodeChef, something like that, for additional practice materials.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, one last question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is the Python integrated development environment that you're going to use throughout the course?
So we will use Replit for this IDE, Replit as IDE. It will be an online IDE. You could simply log into that and use and create a Replit and run the code. It will be used by the instructors and others also. You will be introduced to this Replit and how to use that.
Is there
in
any
the
difference
course
between
itself.
Replit and the original Python IDE?
No, it's mostly the same. So it will be an online thing. So you don't have to install that original Python IDE on your system. That's it. You could also use your system, local system, and install Python and run that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, मेरा अभी hello. Sir, am I visible? Am I audible?
Yeah.
Sir, actually, अभी मेरा foundation के लिए 5 courses लिखे हैं.
Sorry, could you speak in English?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have already taken 5 courses in foundation, and there are 3 more courses left. One is Maths 2, Statistics 1, and Statistics 2.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, what will be the time frame I should complete this? But for foundation certificate, what time should I complete this courses?
So sorry, I am not able to answer this. Karthik, could you please add on this?
I'm also not sure about the time frame. This is more of a.
Sir, I'm working professional. I'm not able to do more than 1 course per trimester actually. So that is a problem I'm facing. So if I can know exactly, because if I can do 1 per trimester from now, then it'll take 9 more months actually. Whether it's permissible or not, I'm not knowing.
Right. Yeah, I get the point. So unfortunately, I am also not the right person. This is more of a Python course orientation, right? So if you have any questions about the course as such, what we'll be studying, how to manage, we can help. But this is more of, so there'll be separate set of sessions conducted for operational and related queries, right? Where you can.
Sir, I have joined the same thing because this Zoom link what mail to us, it is written for foundational course, this thing, not for Python.
No. So Python
orientation for foundation.
Correct. Orientation for foundational courses. Yeah, but we will not. This is not the right place to discuss. If if I take 1 course in every term, is that the right thing? Right? It's a very valid question, but we won't be able to help you in this particular aspect, right? So there is. We'll have to look at the rule, the handbook, student handbook, what it says. The operations team will be able to help you slightly better in this respect, right? So
Thank
yeah, really, I'm like neither Livin nor I we don't
Thank
know.
you.
Yeah.
Sir, in our computational thinking course, which we did, we had a bit of, intertwined in that DFS thing. We had that in maths and CT both. So is
Right.
there any the DFS, sir? Depth
Right.
first search and
Right.
hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. Maybe we are hearing.
Yes, sir. So is there any core requisite for Python as well that we must do either maths or stats along with Python?
No. We won't discuss any. So we will discuss some mathematical concepts here and there, like dot products, matrix multiplication, and all these things. But these are not too hard, right? So these are like very basic concepts only. And here, once in a while, we'll discuss these things.
So, sir, I was planning to do maths 2 and Python this semester.
Okay.
So it won't create any problem now. Like I should do stats 2 as well.
No.
Is there any such requirement?
Yeah, no such requirement.
Okay, sir.
Yes. So are there any other questions? If not, we'll be closing the session in 2-3 minutes. All right. So thanks for joining. We'll be closing the session. Thanks, Livin. Can close.